Hello English 101 students, this is Mr. Branham, and I want to give you just a little bit of a wrap up on the first assignment that you're going to write for English 101, which is the classical argument. Typically in a face-to-face class, I would schedule a meeting before a major paper was due so that we could kind of get together and go over all the requirements for the assignment. And if you have any questions, you can let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those and help you to finish the assignment. So basically the classical argument is a basic argument that lets you demonstrate your knowledge of the first 5 chapters of writing arguments. So read those carefully and make sure that you understand all of that, and make sure you follow the guidelines in chapters 1 through 5, as well as the materials that I have put into Blackboard course content about the assignment. Sometimes students ask, do we have to follow the materials that you have, or can we just write the paper? Really, twofold answer to that: yes, you can write your paper, but do make sure that your paper follows all the requirements for the assignment, because again, that's what I'll be using as I'm grading. So typically what I do in these wrap-ups is to go through peer review checklists, and even though we can't do peer review in this online format, I still like to go through all the requirements. And if you have any questions about any aspect of the assignment, please send me an email at matt.branham@kctcs.edu, and I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. So with these peer review checklists, again, it's a place to put all the requirements for the assignment on one page, so it's easy to see everything there. And I keep these as simple as possible, as straightforward as I can, and you'll find that the basic structure for these peer review checklists will always be the same. We'll focus on structure, which will vary depending on the type of argument that we're writing. Development, which will also kind of change depending on the level of development that we're doing for an argument. Then we have a section for basic skills, which I call grammar, mechanics, and format. So let's go through these. Again, if you have any questions, send me an email, let me know. But the first part that we're looking for is a strong argument structure. So whenever it comes to structure, make sure your essay starts with a title that forecasts the paper's main idea. You can have a creative title if you like. Some people like to do that. Or the old standby will be classical argument, then insert your topic. But I need that just to kind of cue me in on what the paper is about. So whenever I'm getting into the reading, there aren't any surprises about what your main ideas are likely to be. Also make sure that your essay includes a specifically stated claim that should appear in the introductory paragraph or the introductory section. So the claim is a specifically stated statement. I should be able to go to your paper and kind of underline it, say that's definitely the claim or the main idea for the essay. Okay, so we have the claim and the introduction. Then we have 2 or more body paragraphs in the essay devoted to stated reasons. Stated reasons, generally stated as because clauses, supporting points for your claim. So those should be in there. And a good way to think about stated reasons is as topic sentences for the first couple of body paragraphs of your essay. So those should be in there. Also make sure that for each reason you have a warrant. And warrants are a little bit different than stated reasons. Stated reasons we're going to find just in the beginning of a paragraph. But warrants sometimes take a little bit more thought to figure out. And warrants are tied to audience. So for your argument, think about who you're writing to, who you're trying to persuade. Think about their beliefs and their values, what's important to them, what they have to win or lose, and those will give you your warrants. So make sure you include warrants. And also, after you're done developing your reasons, you should have a section which we call rebuttal, or the conditions of rebuttal, which summarizes 2 or more opposing arguments or counter arguments and responds to them with refutation, which is to say that the opposing arguments are wrong, or concession, in which we say that there is some merit, some benefit to opposing arguments. But before we're done, we basically defend our claim against those opposing arguments, showing how our solution, our idea, is better than those opposing ideas. So the first thing is structure, and that's your basic layout, your outline, which you should have kind of put in place whenever you did your classical argument frame. Okay, so the next thing I'll be looking at for development, again, this will change depending on the type of argument that we're writing, but for the most part, the development here should be what we call first-hand evidence. So those are your opinions, your ideas, your experiences, and your observations related to the topic. This paper should not include research at all. It's just what you know, what you've experienced, what you have observed out there in the real world. So make sure that with your introductory paragraph, you do have some development in there. There should be more than just the claim, the thesis. There are a lot of ways to introduce an essay, which you've probably studied before. You can start with kind of an emotional scene or an example, or if there's, I don't know, kind of an anecdote that you have related to the topic, that's okay. But you should have a developed introduction. Also, for each of your stated reasons, you should have grounds. Grounds are just bits of evidence that are meant to support a stated reason, and those can provide a general explanation of the reason, but specific examples make your grounds even better. So you can start with general explanation of what you mean with your stated reason. Then you can put in experiences from your personal experience and your personal observation, and that makes for a good strong paragraph. Okay, also, if your stated reasons are developed with grounds, your warrants are developed with backing. So backing is just additional development or evidence to support your warrant. It also gives kind of another level, another dimension to your reason paragraphs. So again, be specific. Focus on your concrete language and specific examples, and you'll do okay with your backing. Then with the rebuttal section, also with that, you're summarizing opposing arguments. So be even-handed with those. Try to represent them as objectively as possible, and then respond to them however you can, again, to defend your claim against those opposing arguments. And again, just to reiterate, the classical argument should be developed with first-hand evidence only. I won't accuse you of plagiarism if you use research. Please avoid it if you can. If I hope there are things that you've read in the past, things that you've heard, you can put those in there. But if you know where that information came from, please give sources credit. So I want to know what you know about, or what you think about the issue, the experiences you have had in relation to the issue, or how the issue has affected people whom you know. So first structure, second development, and the last part is just the things that we need to do to finish the essay, get it all polished up and looking good. And I always say that the first big things that we need to make sure that we do to have a good argument is to master the structure and the development. But these other things we do just to make things look formal and finished, professional. But these are things that generally we hear about in English class. Make sure you check your essay thoroughly for spelling errors. Use your spell check program. We do that kind of regularly. It's just automatic nowadays. But also make sure you read through and make sure that you've chosen the right words for kind of forecasting the points that you want to include. And it's always good to have somebody there to read your work for you. So read it out loud to somebody, read it out loud to yourself, let someone else read it silently, and sometimes they can find errors that you miss. So also make sure you check for errors in punctuation, periods, commas, all the rest. And if you have errors with punctuation, or in the past you struggle with any area of punctuation, make sure you check those carefully and make those corrections. Then also make sure the essay has been checked thoroughly for errors in grammar. That's a big one. And if you have the handbook, you can go through and find all the information about basic skills errors. And of course, whenever I grade your paper, I will mark everything. And since this is the first paper that you write for me, I won't count off a lot of points if you have problems with spelling, punctuation, and grammar. But I will mark everything and expect those areas to improve with the coming essays. So that's very important. I believe in the idea of a continuous improvement. So if you have problems in your essay, make sure you review those points in your handbook or online, then strive to be better in the essays that are coming up. And the last point there, make sure the essay is in correct MLA format. So with that, it's just standard for all of your English classes and a lot of your humanities classes. And it's a good bet that you have used MLA format before, but it's also good to review the features of the MLA format just to make sure that you're getting everything correct. And I don't have a lot of time for these short videos, so I'm going to end this video there. And I'll do an additional video going over how to set up your MLA format in Microsoft Word. So thank you for checking out this video. So if you have a question, just send me an email at matt.branham@kctcs.edu, and I'll be happy to help in any way that I can and to answer your questions. So thank you very much. Have a good day.